Greetings dear viewer, Orionsgear here. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can combine Vauban Prime, the Tenet Ferox and a Zenistar all together and using a few different mechanics to create a cycle of constant buffs with arcanes and turning a giant meatball into white flame. Firstly, I'd like to go over a few little things before I get into the gameplay. First of all, I'd like to point out that I subsumed Spectre Rage over his third ability. Spectre Rage increases the energy orb drop from enemies, combined with Bastille. This is very effective at keeping energy at full, even in ESO. Second of all, I'd like to point out that I'm using Equilibrium and Archon Stretch. Archon Stretch specifically for increasing range and restoring energy, and Equilibrium for energy and health economy, because if you're always picking up energy, you can also pick up health and take advantage of those drops. Another thing I'd like to point out is I'm using Spectre Siphon, which gives you the ability to, well, use Spectre Rage and Repelling Bastille, which you can consistently throw vortexes into one another and get a maximum amount of duration from it. So you can effectively bypass Samaris's casting cap. The main focus of this build, however, are the arcanes. Arcane Primary Charger and Blade Charger. One of these arcanes gets a kill on either primary or melee. It gives the other one a bonus to damage. Now, why these ones specifically? Because you can use the Zenistar and the Tenet Ferox to give its corresponding weapon a bonus to damage. And by doing that in a confined area such as Vortex, this won't snowball, but this will just increase the amount of damage you can do in a small area and keep things well and truly hands off. Now, for the Ferox build, you'll immediately notice, oh, there's a Riven there. I will say this now, the Riven isn't necessary because I've seen a marginal amount of success even without a Riven, and specifically this Riven as well. Because what we will be using is the alt fire of the Tenet Ferox, which, for if you didn't know, deals a small amount of damage with, that's imbued with high status in a small 15-meter radius. Now, the range on this won't really matter because everything will be pulled into the center with Vortex, so it'll be fine. The Arcane, also, don't worry about it, because at the end of the day, I don't even know if Primary Merciless even works on the alt fire, but if it does, hey, it's more damage. Heavy Caliber, what accuracy is there to lose when it's locked to a 15 meter AoE on the ground? The complementary weapon of this build is the Zenistar. Now, the Zenistar, bit of a pain in the ass to get because you have to wait like 200-300 days just to get the damn thing. But looking over that, it's built specifically with a large amount of range and building combo count as quickly as possible in mind, as well as high status chance, because the status chance is inherited by the heavy attack, which enables you to deal 1 or 2 different status effects on a given enemy, that being heat and corrosive that I've built for. What this enables you to do is you're able to actually get multiple status effects on each individual enemy that this hits. Now, it's not much looking at it at a 1 or 2 enemies, but if you look at it from a perspective of ESO, because if you look at ESO as massive clumps of enemies rushing towards a huge AoE, which is Bastille and the Vortex itself, and then each enemy being given either a corrosive or a heat tick, and then that being imbued onto that enemy, and then everything within a 25-meter radius gets imbued by other status effects, it becomes quite apparent that this build does what it's supposed to do very well. Lastly, I would encourage the use of the Naramon focus tree, since it can passively hold combo count through the use of a fully ranked up power strike. This, along with its ability to slowly decay instead of losing an entire combo count, is more practical. It's also more practical since this build and its energy economy can be maintained well over Zeneric. So to give you a rough idea of how this build actually works, what I would recommend doing is finding your local group of Arid Eviscerators or your flavor of enemy, throwing Vortex into the middle of them, using Spectra Rage, throwing down the Tenant Ferox, and then building combo count quickly, preferably to 220, and then casting the Zenith Doublet. Anywho, I'd like to finish off the Vauban video by just saying this. Go absolutely wild and have fun with it, because I find immense pleasure in doing stupid shit like this. Anyway, this has been the Vauban video. Thank you very much for watching. Now, if you're still watching after the outro, then I'd like to talk about some things very briefly. One, I absolutely appreciate you being here. I absolutely love the fact that more and more people are looking to my videos for support. I'd like to especially thank Hated's community, you know who you are, for being here and for actually seeking out my videos that I post in the Discord. I've never been able to, say this directly to all of you, but for those who actually watch through my videos, I greatly appreciate it. I've seen quite a bit of unexpected growth over my first 4 videos, and I think I'm absolutely stoked at the thought that I've already got, 150 views. Like, that is absolutely unthinkable to me. I just want to be grateful for the community that is helping me realize what I can actually do, realizing potential, and especially to Hated himself, because I've been watching him for the past 2-3 weeks maybe, and he and his community have really helped me get off the ground. And to all of you, I'd like to say a very heartfelt thank you. Anyway, this is now the real outro, so thank you very much for listening to me ramble, and I will hopefully see you all in the next one. Goodbye.